Leave a like for nothing. What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new story. And just imagine for a second, you're babysitting a kid, and all you want to do is have a chill night. Get that bread, get paid, and maybe put him to bed early so you can watch some Netflix or something. But no, instead, this kid tries to stab you with a kitchen knife because he thinks you're a Backrooms monster. And you just stand there and question your life, dude. Anyways, with that being said, sit back, relax, subscribe if you're new, and let's just jump right into this story, dude. So anyways, we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Adam. So anyways, Adam was asked, or he was told by his mom, that another kid, a new kid's mom, or new mom that moved into the neighborhood recently, needed someone to babysit her child. And she posted on Facebook being like, hey, I need a babysitter, and can anyone do it? And Adam's mom, Loki, just like volunteered Adam. Adam was a little upset at first because he definitely wanted to spend his Friday night just, chilling, relaxing, maybe watching a new TV show, catching up on a good movie, playing some video games with some friends. But then Adam's mom said, hey, she's going to pay you $50 for like 3 hours. Like, you should do that. And Adam was like, hey, man, $50 for like 3 to 4 hours? That's not too bad, dude. Okay, maybe it was more like 3 to 4 hours until the kid would have to go to sleep, and then you have to wait there until the parents come back. So maybe a little bit longer. But dude, $50 is $50. And Adam was like, okay, you know what? I'll go ahead and do it. So anyways, Adam makes it to this guy's house, or is dropped off by his mom. And, Adam gets there, and we're just going to call him the kid, right? The kid's mom is like, hey, like, I'm so glad you could make it. Like, you know what? We're going to call the kid who thinks the Backrooms are real. We're going to call this kid Ben. Ben's mom was like, I'm so glad you can make it. Like, Ben's just downstairs, or like Ben's upstairs. And she's like, Ben, come down here. And so you hear kind of footsteps of this kid running down the stairs. And sure enough, someone who we presume is Ben walks down and says says waves or whatever. Adam's like, hey, how's it going? And this kid was probably 7 or 8. Adam's like 18, just for a little bit of reference. And, Ben's mom's like, all right, guys, well, I got to go, we got to go right now, as, Ben's dad comes down the stairs. We got to go right now, but, yeah, we'll be, kind of turns to Adam and says, hey, put him to bed at 8. It was like 6, so he literally had like 2 hours, which is pretty chill. And he's like, we're gonna be back like 11 or 12. Feel free to just sit in the room and watch TV. The bedroom is right next to the TV room, so Ben will know where you are, and also you can check in on him. He's not gonna be too far away. And it says we'll pay you by the end of the night, and call us if you need anything. This is important for later on. So Adam gets Ben's parents' phone number. So Ben's parents leave. And this kid, Ben, doesn't sound like that bad of a kid. He's not this isn't some babysitting horror story where the kid is an incredibly spoiled brat, or he's a psychopath, or, a little bit, but you'll see that later on, right? So this kid isn't like super spoiled or entitled or super bratty or anything like that. So Adam thinks that he really just got like the best deal possible, because this kid was kind of quiet. Adam looked on the TV and put on Cyber Chase or some kind of cool show from back in the day that this kid would like. And at some point after about 20 minutes, Adam's like, hey, I'm going to go order us a pizza, because, Ben's parents said, hey, he does need to eat, but you can always order him a pizza. So he gets on the Domino's app or whatever. And at this point, Ben's like, all right, well, I'm going to go in the other room and watch YouTube videos on my iPad. Little did Ben know that this would be the reason why the rest of his night would be one of the scariest nights of his life. You might be thinking to yourself, Connor, how on earth is a kid watching YouTube videos going to turn into being be the reason why this is going to be one of the scariest nights of Adam's life? Well, I'll explain. So this kid goes on his iPad and he starts watching YouTube videos. And eventually he finds one about the Backrooms. And if you don't know, the Backrooms is this kind of internet urban legend / meme type thing about you can quote unquote no clip out of reality. And there's these scary monsters or whatever. It's this very interesting horror story type thing. There's a lot of video games made around it, a lot of internet media stuff around it. And it's very popular and trendy. However, this kid Ben was only 7 or 8. So when he found videos about the Backrooms or whatever, he couldn't really separate, fiction from reality, if you know what I mean. So Ben kind of, was watching these videos, and Adam was like, it took about 20 minutes for the pizza to get there. And 20 minutes later, Ben comes in, walks into the room, and it looks like this dude has seen a ghost. I'm not even kidding. This kid looks so frightened. And Adam looks at him. He's like, are you good? He's like, yeah. So basically, Ben had been watching videos about the Backrooms, and after watching those videos, he had convinced himself that he had no-clipped into the Backrooms, like last night while he was sleeping or whatever. And he watched a YouTube video that says some backroom monsters, like on floor level 72,628 or something stupid, right? They look like real people, and it's called the babysitter monster or whatever. Like, I know this sounds super goofy to you, because it definitely sounds super goofy to me, but what you got to understand is this kid is like 7 or 8 and he watches a YouTube video. And sometimes when you're 7 or 8, and for the 8-year-olds watching me, part of the 9-year-old bro army, right? Look, you guys are much older and more intelligent than this kid. So congrats to you. But look, sometimes when you're 7 or 8, you can't really separate fiction from reality. For example, when I was 7, for my birthday, I wanted my mom to get me a Star Wars robot. And I don't mean like an action figure. I mean a legitimate robot that they had in Star Wars. I wanted a real life R2-D2 that did everything that R2-D2 did, because I kind of believe that like all the droids and robots in Star Wars were actually real. Yeah, I was maybe I was like 6 or something at the time, but I can definitely relate to back in the day. You think anything, like everything that exists is real. Eventually, you start to be able to distinguish fiction from reality. But, you know, Adam gets the pizza, he puts it down, and this Ben kid takes a piece and just like picks at it. He doesn't really do anything. And Adam's a little worried and is like, hey, bro, are you good? Like, you're not really eating your food. Are you not hungry or something? And this kid's like, I'm good. Like, maybe I'll just have some of this later. So Adam's like, all right, well, as long as you're okay with cold pizza, I'll throw any of this, like, that you're not going to eat into the fridge. You know, Ben doesn't eat anything. And so Adam's like, all right, man, well, this stuff will be in the fridge when you want it. Just let me know, okay? And yeah, so Ben is sitting there, is silent for like 20 minutes. And that's when, dude, that's when he's like, hey, like, do you want to see my room? Basically asking Ben if he wanted to see, or asking Adam if he wanted to see his room. And Adam was like, sure, whatever. Like, this kid seems to be going through something anyways. So, you know, this kid Ben leads Adam up the stairs, leads him into his room. Adam walks into the room and he turns around. He's like, are you going to come in? And that's when he gets the door slammed on him. Ben slams the door on Adam's face, because remember, at this point, Ben believes that Adam is secretly a Backrooms monster who wants to get him or something. And Adam doesn't immediately push the door open because he thinks, I don't know, maybe Ben is playing a game or something like that, but he's a little confused. So, you know, Adam is kind of like, all right, Ben, like, what's going on? And that's when he doesn't hear a response from Ben. He only hears like a piece of furniture being moved. So at this point, right, Adam's pretty confused, and that's when he hears a bump against the door. What Ben was doing was he found like a big piece of furniture, moved it in front, like kind of pushed it in front of the door. So now that like Adam was basically stuck in Ben's room, and Adam starts yelling once the piece of furniture is in front of the door. So like Ben is pretty convinced that, you know, Adam is now stuck in his room. He's like, I know you're a Backrooms creature. And Adam is just so confused right now. He just has legitimately no idea what's going on. And he's kind of like, dude, what? Because the thing is, right, Adam doesn't know what the Backrooms are. He might have seen like a meme or something on like TikTok. But other than that, he just has no idea what like the Backrooms are. So Adam's like, haha, very funny, but you're going to have to let me out there so I can, like, you know, make sure that you're safe and everything. And Ben's like, no, Backrooms creature, you're not going to trick me. And at this point, Adam's starting to realize that, well, Ben might not be responding to normal people logic right now. So he's like, okay, can you at least tell me what I supposedly am? And then he's like, oh, I mean, like, can you tell me what a Backrooms creature is? And Ben's like, wouldn't you like to know, Backrooms monster? And Adam's like, ah. So then Ben's like, you don't, fine. Because I don't know, like, Ben was like, yeah, so I was watching YouTube, and I was watching videos on the Backrooms, and last night I was dreaming, and I totally no-clipped into the Backrooms. And I was watching this video on YouTube, and I know for a fact that you're a Backrooms monster, and you're trying to eat me or something. And at this point, Ben's like, okay. And look, at this point, Ben is just like more annoyed / confused than anything. It starts to turn into a horror story a little bit later on, but you guys can probably tell from the intro skit that it gets pretty intense. But at this point, Adam is like, okay, man, you know, I'm just going to sit in here. and let me out when you feel ready, right? So that, the Ben literally is like, okay, runs downstairs. And Adam is like, okay, kid's going to let me out eventually, right? So 5 minutes pass, 8 minutes pass, 15 minutes pass by. And at this point, Adam's like, all right, I actually need to get out of here. So he kind of like looks through the peephole, right? Because there was like a keyhole in the door, and he looked out, and Ben was not anywhere to be seen. So if he's going to slam through the door, he didn't risk like attacking Ben or hitting Ben or anything like that. So he slams through the door, or kind of pushes it like pretty hard, and the piece of furniture behind it kind of falls over, makes a big banging noise, but Adam is now free from the room. And he hears from downstairs like screaming at Ben, being like, "The monster's out!" And, Adam's like, okay, dude, whatever. And at this point, Adam is still taking this very playfully, very like he's just being an annoying little kid or something, like whatever. So Adam walks downstairs. He's like, hey, man, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm also not really a Backrooms monster. And that's when he sees Adam standing in the kitchen holding a butter knife. Yeah, it wasn't like a steak knife or something, but bro was holding a knife. And at this point, Adam's heart just drops and his face goes cold. He's like, hey, buddy, I'm going to need you to put that down. And Ben is like, no, I will not do what you say, Backrooms monster. And Adam's like, hey, buddy, I'm not a Backrooms monster. I'm your babysitter. And I'm asking you to put that down. And Adam is like, I'm in charge now, Backrooms monster. He picks up the butter knife and starts charging towards Adam. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment Backrooms down below or the Backrooms down below. It's up to you. I will try and heart as many comments as I possibly can. And if you want to support the channel, literally the best thing you can possibly do is watch this video all the way through. And if afterwards you want to keep supporting the channel, literally the second best thing you can possibly do is binge watch my old videos. If you're doing this, like if you're sitting down and watching a bunch of my old videos, please let me know in the comment section down below how many videos you watched today, how many videos you watched this week, whatever, right? So that I can heart and reply to the comments just saying thank you for supporting the channel. Honestly, you guys watching the old videos is the reason why we've been doing so well lately, and I just want to say thank you, dude. I really appreciate it. Anyways, right, so Adam turns around and sprints upstairs. Because he's like, oh, hell nah, bro. Because one thing he knows is he can outrun Ben. And he can definitely, like, even though Ben was a small, fast kid, Adam was fast, agile, and he was definitely smarter. But he also didn't know the layout of the house. So Adam was just running. He's like, put that down, put that down, put that down. And like the spoiled kid, Ben, or not spoiled kid, but Ben, the kid, is running around like, now I'm in charge, Backrooms monster. You can't haunt me if I'm haunting you. And he's swinging this like butter knife around. Sure, it's not a steak knife, but dude, if someone's swinging like a knife at you, even if it's a butter knife, they can do at least a little bit of damage, right? And yeah, sure, this was a little kid or anything, but Adam was not taking any chances. So Adam runs around the house like 3 times or whatever. Eventually, he passes by the kid's room again. He runs into the kid's room, slams the door shut, and locks it, because it can lock from the inside. The room can't lock from the outside, but it can from the in. So Adam is now in Ben's room, and he locks the door, and Ben is slamming on the door, like, I got you now, Backrooms monster. There's nowhere for you to run. And Adam's like, Ben, I need you to put down that knife. I am not a Backrooms monster. This is very dangerous, and if you don't do what I say right now, I'm gonna tell your parents. And at this point, like, Adam kind of thought that, like, he got him because, like, Ben stopped talking for a second. And then that's when Ben starts laughing maniacally. Like, this is some scary Chucky doll with a knife type laughing right now. And Ben goes on to say, that silly Backrooms monster. When my parents come back, they're going to take butter knives as well and help me beat you up because you're a Backrooms monster and you want to hurt us. And Adam's like, dude, no, like, whatever YouTube video you saw was not real life. It didn't actually happen. It's not real. I'm not a Backrooms monster, and I am going to call your parents, and when they come here, they're not going to take your side. I will bet you $100 trillion. And, the little kid says, I'll bet you $100 trillion and $1 that they'll take my side. And Adam's like, all right. If you're not going to, this is your last chance, man. If you're not going to put the butter knife down, I am going to call your parents. So anyways, Ben does not put the butter knife down. Instead, he keeps yelling, "Do what you want to do, Backrooms monster. I know that my parents are going to come on my side because you're a Backrooms monster." Yeah, he really was not letting this go, dude. He was really like, this little kid was like, "You're a Backrooms monster." Like, what YouTube video did this guy watch? But anyways, Adam's like, "All right, man." So he takes his phone, calls up the number that he got from Ben's parents earlier. Ben's mom answers immediately and is like, "Hey, like, what's up? Is anything wrong?" Because, like, if a babysitter calls you and you're a parent, you're accepting that 1 second. Like, the second you see that notification, you're picking that up. And he basically goes on to say, "Hey, like, I need you guys to come back. I'm sorry. I know, like, your son has, like, picked up a butter knife and is chasing me around with it. He won't put it down for his safety and for mine. I just don't know how to handle this situation." And at this point, the mom is like, "Are you serious?" And Adam's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna prank call you, like, saying your son is trying to murk me, right? That's not an epic prank I'm gonna pull on you." I don't think he said all that, but, like, come on, dude. So the mom was like, "Oh, we'll be there right away." And, he puts down the phone and Adam's like, "All right, Ben, your parents are coming back." And, Ben's like a little bit less, like, Adam can almost know. They can almost kind of tell. The Ben is a little bit less certain now, because he's like, "Well, my parents are definitely going to help me fight you because you're evil." So eventually, right, Ben's parents actually get there. They show up, they knock on the door or whatever, because the door is locked, I think. And so they're knocking on the door, and Adams yells out to Ben, like, "You better go get it, because I know I'm not going out to go get it." And Ben's like, "Great, well, my parents are back, and they're going to help me stab you with these butter knives because you're a Backrooms monster." And Adam's like, "Okay, man, sure." So Adam, like, puts his ear up to the door, and he hears, Ben walk downstairs, go, like, open up the door, and he hears yelling. He hears yelling from both of his parents, be like, "What are you?" Because I think the parents weren't 100%, like, they didn't believe it, man. They didn't know what to believe. But when they got back and they saw their son with, like, a knife in his hand, even if it was a butter knife, a knife nonetheless, right? They must have just gone ballistic. And Ben or Adam is hearing them yell, like, "What are you thinking? Like, that's your babysitter. He's here to keep you safe, and you're running around chasing him with a butter knife. Like, you could have got him hurt, and you could have gotten yourself hurt as well. In fact, you could have gotten both of you guys hurt. This is ridiculous. We just wanted one night out by ourselves." Kind of going off on this kid, which, like, Adam was like, "Dang, that's tough." But also, bro was trying to shank him, so he didn't feel that bad. Eventually, he hears a knock on the door. It was a very firm knock, so he knew it wasn't a little kid, right? And he hears what presumably was, like, or was, I should say, Ben's dad say, "Hey, we got Ben under control. You can come out now." He opens up the door, and what he sees shocks him. Ben's mom, and Ben's dad are all holding butter knives, and they all chant together, "Your time is up, Backrooms monster." And they take their butter knives and they plunge it. I'm playing. It's October. Thought I'd make it a little spooky for you guys. No, the dad was up there. He's like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. Like, our son, like, he's still very young, so he must have watched something scary on YouTube and thought that you were the scary thing he saw on YouTube. Like, we're so sorry about that." So yeah, what ended up happening was, Adam was able to go home early, and the parents actually still paid him. They paid him the $50, probably just not to make a big stink out of what happened, but Adam was able to go home, watch Netflix, play video games, and he got $50 for it. So
Click on the video
win.
on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it, do it.